Hello and welcome. It's a lovely Saturday in the middle of October on the beach, and I'm going to share some wisdom about wild swimming with you. Wild swimming is a simple experience of nature connection in which it's really possible to experience the true joy of being alive. It's one of my favourite activities. By making wild swimming a regular practice for yourself, you can transform your health, your consciousness and your life. And I'm going to talk about how in this video. And I'm going to share a life-changing lesson that wild swimming can show us. And I think this lesson is something at this time in which we're going through now, which humanity is going through now, something that can really help us, because it helps awaken our true nature, who we really are. So I've been wild swimming for probably nearly every day in the last 6 months. Swimming every day of the year is a very worthwhile practice. Personally, I haven't decided to do that through the winter, but I know people that do, and they swear by the experience, all the benefits of it. It can feel great. Can be a lot of fun in the winter if it's done with careful consideration. So I do love to challenge myself from time to time in the colder winter temperatures. So there's a profound truth that wild swimming can teach us that I realized a long time ago, and it's something that can be applied to all life. It can transform your experience of life. I find that if I truly accept and welcome the cold water with joy and with awe, and become one with it, then I'm not resisting anything. And when we resist anything, then we create problems, because we go against what is. Let's just think about that a moment. I totally surrender when I go for a wild swim. It's part of my practice. I don't force anything. I totally accept and become one with the water. Maybe I'll find a place to sit down, because I don't know if the wind is blowing in my microphone. And if I turn my back to the wind and sit down, maybe it's going to be better. So it can be useful to spend a moment becoming very conscious before you go wild swimming. The whole experience is a meditation practice, and it can still the mind and bring awareness to now, to the present moment. By becoming conscious of being conscious of being conscious, you enter a state of being. And that experience of being can transform your experience of swimming, or of reality really, especially when the temperature's cold and it makes it more challenging to swim, and your mind falls into the learnt patterns of resistance that you might have been conditioned to believe. I often relax through the body and use the 6 verses beforehand, the 6 verses of Yuen Gong, but you don't need to use the 6 verses. You can just relax through the body and become aware of awareness itself. So this is a really good preparation. And I visualize an experience of non-resistance. So I sort of visualize ahead and visualize joy and just the awe of the experience before I go in. And then my mind's prepared and it's less likely to resist at any point. My mind's ready. So I just do it with complete awareness of the moment, welcoming every moment, and staying present with the breath too. Resistance can feel like fear. It sort of tightens and restricts the body. A sort of internal stiffness can be experienced. So you just stay present and relax and surrender, breathing through each present moment, and allow joy to rise just through being present. Acceptance. Fully welcoming each present moment is truly heart-based being. And so when this happens, you've moved from your head into your heart. You're just being. Acceptance is necessary for love. To love your experience. And to feel gratitude for each present moment. And to feel awe in that whole experience of becoming one with the water, the cold water. So, if you've chosen to swim, then why not enjoy the present moment? If you feel like you're forcing yourself, the experience will reflect that. But if you treat it like you're welcoming each moment, then you're going to experience the reality of the situation, not what your head is leading you to believe. As Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te Ching, yield and overcome. The situation won't change, but your perception of the situation will change. And because your perception's changed, your reality will change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's something Wayne Dyer said, and I think that Einstein might have said it before him. But it's very true. So let go of that belief that it's going to be difficult, challenging to swim. if it's cold. It's something you may have learnt from past experience or conditioning, and it's not being in the moment because you're thinking, oh, it's going to be cold. So you're kind of visualizing what you don't want to visualize and creating that resistance. So believe instead that you're going to enjoy what you experience in every present moment, like you're doing it for the first time, like you've never done it before, so you're not going off something that you've previously learnt. Change the internal and the external changes. No longer believe that you have to resist. Acceptance brings wholeness. Observe fear and resistance, and they disappear. There's a quote, "What you resist persists, and what you look at disappears." And that's very true. You start to see things as they really are, not illusions in your mind. Let it be. Let go of letting go and surrender to surrender, just for the moment now, and now, and now, and now. If you surrender to the fact that you can't surrender, then resistance will dissolve. So observe your thoughts and feelings in the moment. And just be. Choose emotional and mental freedom in every moment. What is, is. Trust. Trust the development of your life in every moment. And by doing this, you're welcoming and accepting life. When you don't allow something, when you resist something, it leads to suffering. You can experience a feeling of yes to life, in response to life and consciousness, deep inside of yourself. And this is it. And it's really profound. And the practice of wild swimming will certainly guide you towards that experience. If you find it hard to experience that yes to life. Cold water can put you in the present moment. And we can find stillness in the present moment. And experience oneness and awe. Just be. Live the moment willingly. And then this moment now will be heaven. So we've come here to live, to experience beauty, And this is the yes of surrender. Attached to nothing, and paradoxically, in that being non-attached to everything, you're connected to everything. In the oneness. Welcome whatever life brings you in the moment. So this is something that applies to all of life. When you resist what is, or you complain, you resist your relationship to life. And so life reflects that back to you. It reflects back your state of consciousness. And you'll experience more of it. This is a journey inside. Your true nature is consciousness. Your light. And everything has consciousness and is consciousness in a very real sense. Everything is alive. I won't go into that now, but it's something that I know to be true for myself. When we find stillness, then we're able to access that true nature in oneness, without any preconceived ideas, through just being. And through this, we can create a different way of being outside. From this place we can visualize, visualize, imagine, believe, use your heart. And we can create a different way of being in the world. This is really what we need to do now in our world. Well, going back to wild swimming, we could change the external. For example, we could put on a wetsuit so that we wouldn't get so cold. And this is great for certain activities, but it also takes away the connection to nature, the elements around you, that feeling of freedom, the reality of the experience of that deep connection, which is, for me, is one of the reasons to do it in the first place. Well, it's a really important reason to do it in the first place, because we are one with nature, and that experience is something that's really important for us to experience, especially now, and it really does bring it home. It really, puts you into a state of being and connectedness. There's no need to limit that reality, no need to try to control it, because it's beneficial. And I haven't talked about this yet, but there's actually very, very good reasons why wild swimming benefits you. There are many benefits, is what I'm saying. Improved immunity, a natural high. You release endorphins, and I definitely feel that after I've been in for a wild swim. Improved circulation, improved libido for men. It reduces stress, it puts you right into the present moment. It increases the body's muscle to fat ratio, decreases inflammation in the body, and by challenging yourself, you expand your comfort zone. And that's something that, it's important to do if you want to grow. And there's also all the benefits of just being in the water, the river or the sea, if it's a nice place you're swimming. Water itself is very healing and life-giving. And it's cleansing. When you have a shower, you feel the whole energy change. I'll just give a health and safety note, because this is important. Know your body and its limits. And just to cover myself, take advice from a physician before you do this. I'm not recommending that you do this. It's purely something I do sometimes, and there are many benefits if it's done carefully. It's best to start in the summer when the water's warmer, and slowly go in regularly as the water cools. But listen to the body and take less time in the water as it gets colder. And it's also, if the water's very cold to enter, it's wise to enter it slowly, because it is possible, if it's very cold, to go into shock, and even give yourself a heart attack from that shock, or just not be able to move. So you don't want to do that. You want to be wise. So just listen to your body and take less time in the water as it gets colder. But if you surrender and stay in the water until your body adjusts, then you may very well be surprised at how enjoyable it is and how you don't feel so cold because your body's adjusted. Just have some warm drinks and some warm clothes to change into afterwards. As a side note, if you haven't come across a guy called Wim Hof, look him up. He's a really interesting guy. He's also called the Iceman. And he takes this experience of cold exposure to a whole new level. He swims under ice and climbs Mount Everest in his shorts. But he does have quite an interesting method. He uses meditation, breath work, and cold exposure to do things that science had thought was impossible. And he shows other people how to do that. He teaches them in just a few days. And his methods, I think, are really good. They've been proven to be quite good for stress and depression. So it's quite inspiring stuff. Anyway, every challenge in life can be an opportunity to grow. And life shows us what to do if we listen with awareness. And this is very true for humanity's collective challenges now. It's possible to be internally peaceful, even if in the face of our challenges, it might seem like things are quite hard on the outside, but actually inside it is possible to feel peaceful by choosing to surrender and stay aware. It's an opportunity to become more aware, more present, more conscious. And this is what life is showing us we need to do now. It's time not to just be human doings, but to be human beings, not stuck in that conditioned sleeping mind. So what we're going through now is an opportunity to awaken, if we can step up and embrace it consciously. We just must trust the evolution of life and consciousness. Everything is as it should be now. Life is longing for itself, and this is the natural evolution process. It's creating a need for us to wake up and become more aware. And the greatest challenge is our conditioned minds. Fear and resistance arise. They come from the mind and thinking. Welcome them. Avoid reacting. And make an effort to be conscious, because awareness transforms. So shine the light of consciousness. Your reality is the state of consciousness with which you live, with which you face what's happening around you. So welcome life and your experience in every moment, which is a lot of what I've been talking about today. And then life will welcome you with a true, clear reality. And this is really transformational. So we need to be aware enough to stop the negative patterns of our behaviour and conditioning that are damaging ourselves, each other, the earth. We can create new patterns that evolve from stillness and awareness of being, collaboration with each other and nature. From a unified state of oneness, our true nature awakens. And from here, heart-based creativity and wisdom can transform our world. So this can be our new story. A new dream for our world, our reality. So this lesson is everywhere, not just in wild swimming. Well, I did mean to do this walking along in the water in the sea, but I thought it'd be best to just turn my back to the wind, so hopefully the sound's been clear. Thank you for joining me today. Goodbye, until next time.